Hey friends, Pasha here again, and I just want to talk a little bit about this spring that I was able to find on the property. Some people call them wet weather spring, some people call them a seep. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I want to show you how I found it and show you what I'm doing to develop. So the first thing I did is go walking with my dog, and we found these deer trails through the woods. And just out of curiosity, I was walking through here, and then I saw this. I don't know how visible that is, but what it is, it looks like a dry stream or creek bed with all these exposed wrecks. And I saw it, and I said, well, nature's been carving this out for a long time, so that has some significance, although it was completely dry. And it looked like it's probably been 100 years since any water ran down it. So I could see this looks like a little tiny creek. And then over here, it's hard to see with the leaves, but there's a bunch of little rocks. And it looked like there was another washout here going down this side. So what I did is I just followed this up. And got to somewhere in here. And this is where I found a lot of rocks piled up. The ground was a little bit moist. I moved some of these big rocks out of the way and poked around with the shovel and pickaxe, kept digging out, and the ground just kept getting wet and wet. So I decided to go a little bit more uphill as far as I could go. Ended up with this. So this thing is probably 15 feet long from here to there, and at the widest point about 8 to 10 feet wide. And I uncovered these giant rocks underneath the ground, because usually, from what I understand, where the water's coming from out of ground, that's there's usually rock formations and the water's squeezing between the rocks. So I found this big rock first, and of course I can't move it, and then these, found those. But here's where most of the water seems to be coming from. It's right here. I don't know if you can hear it. You can actually, at least I can. I don't know if it's audible on the phone here. But that is a slight trickle. So today I'm going to dig this out a little more. And it's been cold. It was 4 degrees last night. It's just been too cold to come out. The ground's just too hard to dig, but it's thawing a little bit. So I figured today's a good day. What do you want? What do you want? She's proud of herself. She caught a mouse today. So, but I don't know if it's underground pressures from ice pushing the water up. I don't know how that works. It's actually hard to find good information on that on YouTube. So that's why I'm sharing this video, because I kind of wanted to share a little bit about my experience with tapping into a hillside spring. So my intention really wasn't to make a video about digging out the spring. I just thought, since I was working on that today, I'd make a little video mentioning it. But really what's on my mind is this Trump inauguration and something like 200 executive orders on the first day. And yeah, I don't really want to get into the details of all that. Everybody's got their own opinion. The only thing that I really want to comment on is something that just occurred to me from more of a deeper spiritual, meaningful position. And it's just the Gulf of Mexico. Really? That's what we're doing? We're going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America? Honestly, it's kind of goofy.
I hadn't heard that.
And quite frankly, Gulf of America really doesn't flow. Gulf of Mexico flows, so, you know. But not only that, it's who's going to change the map? Is someone else going to change the map? Do you think Mexico maps are going to start saying Golfo de los Estados Unidos, Golfo de America? No, I'm pretty sure they're going to stick with Golfo de Mexico. And it makes sense, because it's the Gulf of Mexico. So I don't know, it's just a weird thing. And it's just a lot of vanity. And so when I was thinking about that, I was like, why would he do this? But I'm sure it's just to basically appease his rah-rah jingo patriot crowd, you know. Nothing substantive there. But out of the 200 executive orders he did, there are some that do have some significance. A lot of the stuff he did is stuff that his base was asking for. So, you know, kudos. I don't know how legal some of the stuff's going to be. I don't know some of the things that he's going to do. I don't know. There'll be legal challenges, and we'll see what happens. I do know that the freeze on military spending, at least all except for one country that's exempt on everything, that's a good thing, because if anybody's wondering my politics, I would say my politics are pretty much summed up in don't want the government telling me what to do, and I really don't like war. I don't support any of them, ever. Don't think they're ever self-defense, even when they say they are, even if you can come up with some justifications. War is the failure of communication, and it's just sad. So just a quick note on the current conflict going on in Eastern Europe. This is two countries full of Orthodox Christians, and I just think about the casualty rate amongst Orthodox Christians. You're going to have a whole generation of very traumatized people, and I don't know how that's going to affect their faith. A lot of people become more religious. A lot of people become disillusioned. I know in the United States, a lot of people come back from Iraq and, suffer from PTSD. And I don't think this war is going to be any less traumatic than that. In fact, I think it's going to be much worse. Drones have changed the game. And, anybody that hears a buzz now when they get back into civilian life is going to be freaking out. So, not to him on that. I think in general, my position is that the United States should be, with its leadership role in the world, should be the country that champions peace above all else. And, sadly, that's not the case. That's not the current situation. So it is what it is. I'm just saying, always, you should be skeptical, because none of this goes to serve God. None of this is about God. None of this is about the kingdom of God. None of this is about making America a more Christian nation. My thought for the day is how much of Trump's running for re-election, how much of all of this running for election in the first place, and now the Greenland thing, the Gulf of America, some of these goofy things he's doing, how much of that is just for legacy? And how much of that is genuinely for America? I don't know. I like to believe that Trump is actually a patriot of the country and is genuine in what he believes. That's what I hope, and that's what I pray. You ready to go? You ready? So my dog is an excellent mouse catcher. Где мышь? Где мышь? Бяка, где мышь?